Certainly some interesting offerings there on day 5 of the competition, but we're not going to let you go just yet, Rosslyn, because I believe you have with you today's special guest.
I do, and we're delighted to have with us Andrea Paganini. He's in charge of the Jean Rouche centenary. Bienvenue. Benvenuto. Welcome. You're heading the Jean Rouche centenary event in several languages, Italian, French and English, if not more. So on the sidelines of the film festival, you're celebrating the centenary actually of the birth of the French director and anthropologist Jean Rouche. He was born on the 31st of May 1917 and spent most of his life, at least 60 years of it, in Africa. Now, he died in Niger in 2004. I'm telling you things you already know, but some of our listeners might not. Well, he's left behind him also, very importantly, a wealth of documentary films. He's influenced generations of filmmakers with this pioneering work. And some of the films brought documentary and fiction closer. That's really something notable about Jean Rouche. Now, would you say that he was primarily, though, an anthropologist or a filmmaker?
Hello. First of all, I would like to apologize for my bad English. I'll try to speak it as well as possible. Rouche is a scientist and is an artist. The two very close, and the two at the same time. He worked for the CNRS, the French Central National Research Center, and but he also was very close to, since the 30s, to Langlois, to Henri Langlois, the Cinémathèque Française, and he saw a lot of movies, and he succeeded in mixing art of cinema and the research part. Yes.
It's interesting you mentioned Henri Langlois, the Cinémathèque Française. Rouche's historical film of 1976, historical topic of 1976, Babatou, The Three Councils, has been restored digitally. That was the big major work of Henri Langlois, wasn't it, to restore and maintain French cinema. Now, this was the only film by Jean Rouche that the Cannes Film Festival ever picked for its lineup.
Indeed.
It's set in Niger. It's about a Zama chief of the same name. Tell us more about it.
Yes, it's about Babatou, who's one of the warrior lead chiefs of Niger, which attacked Gurunsi people mostly, and made his health out of slave trade. And then it was defeated because he was a very strong chief, so he got the British, then the Germans, then the French to defeat him. And what is interesting also is that a part of the warriors stayed in actual Ghana, in Ashanti land, and then they even moved back southern to Accra and the Atlantic coast. And Rouche was very interested in that because when he arrived in Africa in 1940, he knew that a lot of young people from Sahel, from Niger, Burkina Faso or Mali, went to the coast to work, to get money, and come back to Niger, for instance. And the hypothesis of Rouche was to make a link between these warriors of the 19th century who were searching for adventure, for glory, for health, of course, and those young, of course, who weren't warriors, but who followed the same tracks and most the same spirit.
So, why do you think that this particular film, and none other, was selected for that Cannes Film Festival 40 years ago?
We must add, it's the only Jean Rouche movie ever selected.
Exactly.
But also the only film from Niger to be ever selected, and even the first black African movie, because only in 1975 there was a first selection of a film from Algeria. It was the first one, yes. So it's very important. Why? Because maybe because of the fame of Jean Rouche, who was already known, of course. So I think this helped, and maybe also because it was a particular time in Niger, because in 1974 happened the first coup d'état. Seni Kunche get to power, and Diori Amani, the very first Niger president, was get out, and it's very linked to Babato's story, because maybe it's not enough said, but Rouche, of course, is an author, but he made his movies with others, a lot of others, and he signed Jean-Pierre Houdard, a French critic, talking about Jean Rouche movie, especially those kind of movies like Babatou, talk about them, saying those are plural movies. They're made by a lot of people, and Boubou Ama wrote the script of Babatou. Boubou Ama is a political figure, close to Diori Amani, very close to Rouge. He was a searcher also, and a writer. And Boubou Ama, when Seni Kunche arrived to power, was put in prison. And so for a few times the movie was stopped. Of course, Rouge continued. He achieved it. He continuing, of course, to go and visit Boubou Ama in prison, etc. So I think this is also a reason why he was elected in Cannes.
So it's a very important political film,
yes.
Film in the political history of Niger. And so people who are watching it today will learn a lot about Niger and about its history by watching just one film, in fact, which is the beauty of his work.
And it's a kind of not direct politics, because Rouge wasn't a militant in a simple way, but he made assessment like this, less direct.
Now, you've brought some music along with your soundtrack.
Yes.
Can you tell us a bit about that? We've got about 15 seconds.
The music is linked to Babatou also. It's made by a very, very famous griot. It was recorded in 1955, so 20 years before, by the same man who made the music of Babatou.
Let's listen to a little bit of it then, before we go. I think we can. Here we go. Well, Andrea Paganini, thank you very much for speaking to us today, and we wish you all the very best with the Jean Rouche centenary going on all around the world all year. Thank you.
Thank you to you.